lose 4-2 to the Colorado Avalanche in Game 1 of 82. Tonight, in their opening night of the 2021-2022 season, the Chicago Blackhawks come to Colorado and don't manage to get a point or 2 points in this action as they lose to the Avalanche 4-2. The first period, it looked like the Hawks were going to get blown out in this game. They were basically getting blown out in the first 10 minutes of the game. And, well, it was just a rough start for the game. Hawks, and the Hawks couldn't battle fully back into this game. So, let's talk about that first period, shall we? In the first period, the Hawks had a total of 8 shots. Okay, that's about a total you should see from a team. But the Avalanche had 18 shots. But 16 of those 18 shots came in the first 10 minutes of play for the Colorado Avalanche. Marc-Andre Fleury was standing strong. He did let in 3 early goals, but it was really the Hawks' defensive play to start the game, letting Flower out to dry. That first period was the killer in tonight's action. So let's talk about more of the stats of the game. In the second period, the Hawks honestly were the better team in the second period. They put up a total of 13 shots to 9 in the second period. The Hawks looked good in that second period. They had a couple of chances to try and tie the game up, but the opportunities couldn't pass Darcy Kuemper of the Colorado Avalanche. Then we go to the third period where the Hawks still continue to pepper some shots on net, getting 13 to the Avalanche's 9 in that third period, but still could not prevail. They did manage to scrounge up a goal to get it within 2, but it wasn't enough. So let's look at the other stats in this game. 34-36 on shots on goal in favor for the Colorado Avalanche. Face-off percentage, a position where the Hawks were terrible at last year. They came in and outdrew the Avalanche 56% of the time to the Avalanche's 43.6%. That's good for the Hawks. You have Jonathan Toews back, yes. You also have Tyler Johnson and Kirby Dach. Dach, arguably the best player on the ice tonight. He looked great. Power play. Hawks went 1 for 3 to the Avalanche going 0 for 4. The Hawks scored 4 power plays from the Avalanche? That's a good note to see. And hits 17-25 in favor for Colorado. Block shots 21-17 in favor for the Chicago Blackhawks. Right there, that shows the Avalanche were getting some shots off, but the Hawks were blocking them. And that's good to see. But that first period, you really didn't see it. You saw a couple of posts hit and the Hawks looking caught on their heels and lost in this game. So let's go into the goals of the game, shall we? In the first period, as I said, Colorado came out steaming and the Hawks looked lost and they looked like a team not knowing what to do. They looked like a team, like an AHL team in the first 10 minutes of the game. Colorado came out steaming. Marc-Andre Fleury made a couple of saves, but at 4:26 in the first period, Connor Murphy pinches up into the neutral zone. Jake McCabe gets tripped up, and, well, Jack Johnson scores the first goal of the night First, for the Avalanche, it was assisted by Burakovsky and Nichushkin to make it 1-0 Avalanche at 4:26. Jack Johnson came to Colorado off a PTO, and he made the roster, scoring the first goal of the night for Colorado. But a minute later, at 5:48 in the first period, Gabriel Landeskog. We're going to get back into Landeskog later. Landeskog scores his first of the night by tipping it in past Fleury, assisted by Kadri and Eric Johnson. I didn't see Kadri get the puck off on his stick. I knew Landeskog did score because of the deflection, but I didn't see Kadri ever hit the puck. I honestly at first thought it was Eric Johnson scoring the goal to make it 2-0 Colorado. Again, Hawks were on their heels. Avalanche had their first line out versus the Hawks' fourth line. That's usually a matchup of disaster, and it did prove itself. So 2-0 Colorado 5 minutes into the game. Just 5 minutes later, at 9:34 in the first period, scoring his NHL career first goal for the Colorado Avalanche, Bowen Byram, sniping one past Marc-Andre Fleury, assisted by Gabriel Landeskog. What Landeskog did in the last minutes of the game really ticked me off. That was what he did was dirty. So as you can tell, I'm not happy with Landeskog after this game. So it's now 3-0 Colorado, and the Hawks call a timeout. That's a smart move because they looked lost. They look on their heels, and they looked all hell broken loose, and it could be a 10-0 game. That's how bad it was. At that point, Colorado had 16 shots on net to the Hawks only having 2 in 10 minutes of play. That right there is disaster on writing. It was just rough to watch the first 10 minutes of game. But the Hawks started to find their game. They managed to get a power play, which really sparked the Hawks, really. At 16:47 in the first period, scored by number 8, Dominic Kubalik, assisted by number 51, Ian Mitchell, and number 13, Hendrik Borkstrom. On the power play, Kubalik rifles one to get the Hawks within 2 late in the action, but this was a nice shot by Kubalik. He gets the puck from Mitchell and just blasts it past Darcy Kemper, going bar down. Beautiful shot by Kubalik, and the Hawks are now looking like they found their game. They started skating well. They got some confidence in them. But confusion came 40 seconds later. The Hawks go to the penalty kill by the fact too many men on the ice. And, well, no goal was scored on that power play by the Colorado Avalanche as the Hawks kept the pressure to the boards, keeping the puck away from the slot, and they played it strong on the PK. Couple odd man rushes on the PK, leading to opportunities for the Hawks, and, well, that's good to see for a penalty kill last year ranked one of the worst in the NHL. So we go to the second period, where the Hawks are down by 2. This period was pretty much all Blackhawks. They played strong coming out. Well, they had a few moments where the Avalanche actually came out looking like they did in the first 10 minutes of play, but then everything settled down, Hawks managed to gain control, moving the puck well. A couple penalties were called, and then Kirby Dach gets on a breakaway, and the puck just turns on him when he tries to shoot it top shelf, and saved by Kemper. So the Avalanche still have their lead. And then Kirby Dach again had another beautiful opportunity to get it within one, and this happened. At 16:12 in the second period, Nazem Kadri scores his first of the season, assisted by Bowen Byram and Mikko Rantanen to make it 4-1 Avalanche. This is why I'm saying, and this happened. Dach had an opportunity to score again. He couldn't get that break past Kemper. The puck went the opposite way, and the Avalanche gained control, moving it up, and Kadri scores to make it a 3-goal game once again. It was nothing Fleury could have really done. It was like rebound off a rebound. So, Avalanche back up by 3. And so we go to the third period. Hawks couldn't break the net to get them within tying or within 1. And they end up going down by an additional goal to go down by 3. So we go to the third period. And the Hawks came out well. They were playing well, keeping the puck on, moving it in, getting some shots off. Had to kill a power play by the Avalanche where Marc-Andre Fleury came up big. But at 15:31 in the third period, scored by number 5, his first of the season, Connor Murphy. And this was unassisted. Murphy got the puck, fake shot it, and then shot it past Kemper. It knuckled kind of really past Kemper, and there was a screening, and it led to a nice goal for Connor Murphy for his first of the season. Hawks get it within 2. Then a few seconds later, after the goal scored, they go to the power play. At 3:34 remaining in the regulation time, this chaos happened. Kirby Dach was going down for the puck, trying to get it. He was on his knee, and Gabriel Landeskog came in, barreling in, and, in my opinion, with a predatory hit on Kirby Dach that could have led to much worse than what happened. Dach came out to play on this power play. Landeskog went to the locker room early, went to the shower early, as he got tossed because he had a dirty hit. It was. And Tyler Johnson did get a penalty on this after, because he went in and basically to protect his young teammate by basically wanting to drop the gloves with Landeskog. Refs called a penalty on roughing and gave a additional penalty on Landeskog for the dirty hit on Dach. So, Hawks to the power play. They get the control, and they were moving the puck well, went 6-on-4, pulling Marc-Andre Fleury, and a few seconds into the power play, Alex DeBrincat gets hurt, goes back to the bench, but he comes back. He does come back into play, but it wasn't enough. Hawks were moving the puck well. They caught a couple chances off and just couldn't get those additional 2 goals to tie this game up and potentially see an overtime. So it was a rough loss to start the season. It was still a game where the Hawks did prove that they can play a lot better, even though in the first 10 minutes of play, they looked lost. They looked like the team was still in preseason. But this is early in the season. It's the first game. It was a rough loss for sure. But the Hawks did show in parts of this game that they can battle with the Colorado Avalanche by keeping the pressure on in the offensive zone in the second and third period. They did do that. But the Avalanche did prevail, winning it 4-2 over the Chicago Blackhawks. Down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were on tonight's action and what your thoughts were on the, in my opinion, dirty hit from Gabriel Landeskog on Kirby Dach, because there's going to be a lot of topic on that. I wonder if the NHL is going to either fine him or suspend Landeskog. I think it was a dirty, predatory hit that Landeskog did. I want to hear what your thoughts were on that hit in itself. So, I want to hear what your thoughts were from tonight's action, and thank you for watching the broadcast. I know the Hawks lost, but it was still showing they were starting to prove that they can compete with top-notch teams. So, it's a rough loss, but thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, it's the first game, but let's go Hawks.